and welcome back to the studio sessions. My name is Brooke, and every week we talk about movies. Movies we love, movies we don't always love, why we love movies, what even is the film industry right now, and making movies. Let's kick off this week's episode with the studio notes. The first studio notes I want to give you is Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5 is smashing it at the box office. Is anybody surprised? Not really. I kind of knew this summer had some things lined up that might give the box office quite a boost. And not only is Toy Story 5 killing it, but it has hit the franchise highest. So it has officially broken franchise records for the Toy Story series. The global total has hit 312 million. The budget was 250 million. And it has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've been hearing rave reviews of people really touched by the storyline, people loving how they handled that topic. I think we might have mentioned it before, but Toy Story 5, if you've seen the trailer, it tells you. It's kind of hinting at it's addressing the tech thing and impact on kids, all of that. So it's been doing really well. And it's not done with its run yet, but it's already hit the franchise highest 312 million global, 160 million domestic weekend opening. So it's doing well. And my kids don't know it yet, but we're going to see it with our friends this weekend. So I'm really excited, and I know they're going to be really excited. It's going to be a whole thing. But yes. So, yeah. So, yay, Toy Story 5. I'm very excited. I knew it was going to do well. Okay. Second story is I just kind of want to run down the box office so far right now and the rankings, not exactly what each made or anything, but just the rankings. So Toy Story 5 is number 1. Disclosure Day is number 2, Steven Spielberg. Obsession is number 3. Backrooms is at 4. Scary Movie 6 is number 5. Masters of the Universe is number 6. Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu is number 7. Leviticus is number 8. The Death of Robin Hood is number 9. And Michael is at number 10 in its 9th week. So that's what we're going at. And the box office year to date is up 14%. Not bad. For the third studio notes segment, some other news and films we are getting. In a continued rollout of reboots or sequels or continuation of beloved IP from a decade or two ago, we're doing Shrek 5. Austin Powers has been hinted at. And it will just be interesting to see how this continues to go. Again, I do think the choices for what ones they do that with being made are a little better than they were before. So that could help it be a little more successful. And we'll see what choices in that area continue to be made. I don't think Shrek 5 is a bad one. People love Shrek. Yeah. Just continuation of that. I think people are seeing things like Toy Story 5 doing really well and things like that. And they're again trying to grab onto that opportunity. And who knows? Maybe that is the gateway to get people back to the theater. Maybe it is. Maybe that is the way to get people re-engaged with films is to throw them something that they already know and love, but in a fresh way. And one that doesn't feel like they're just doing it for money, but that fans might actually be seeking out. That's been my thought the whole time. It's like, well, but who asked for the sequel to that movie? Is anybody really asking for that? I don't know. And the more recent ones being made, I do feel like there probably was a level of interest and audience for that more so than some of the initial choices made when this attempt was first tried, like 5, 10 years ago, where this idea first kind of started like, hey, look, we can bring back the movies you love. I think that will make a difference. And I think that shows that they have learned what people are and are not actually going to put value in that way. So I think that'll be good. And hopefully it does work out well. We'll see. But that's the update on that. And that is this week's studio notes. After a week off last week, an unintentional week off, but a week off, uh, I am ready to dive back into my next film. And I wanted to take this week's episode to give a little bit of a behind the scenes on the things I'm doing to prepare, to start creating and developing and building the next film. There's a whole lot of moving parts to different aspects of making a film. But I went into this knowing my subject matter, having a lot of experience in my subject matter, which helps, and having a why. So I already knew those things. Sometimes it does help to like write those down, kind of solidify those in that way. But really, what I had to do and what I've been doing is kind of just take stock of all of the ideas in my head, of the different resources at my fingertips, and pull it all together so that I can see it all together and see the overall picture. I, yes, am telling a story, but it's a little bit different than Like a Butterfly. There will be a very, hopefully, personal and encouraging and practical side to the film, where there's going to be a lot of stories you can learn from. And I wanted to gather who I thought it would be best to pull into that, to tell those stories, to give this narrative and really share the experiences that I'm hoping to highlight. And so I kind of had to make a list of different aspects of the story that I wanted to tell and kind of research a little bit. I did some emailing, I did some web searching to find who I thought might be the experts I might want and try to solidify the types of stories I was looking for. Because it is going to be something where I want there to be this very specific common theme. And so that part was important. So this phase that I'm in looks a lot like emailing, typing, writing out all of the plans and ideas. And I do have to keep the story structure in mind for that. I have to kind of have some way of organizing these details where, like, okay, this tells this part of the story. And I don't want to get too all over the place. I don't want it to be, in Like a Butterfly, I was kind of just gathering all the different Turner syndrome experiences. Anything. any Turner syndrome experiences. And I wanted variety in those because I was trying to give a wide example of how us women with Turner syndrome experience Turner syndrome. Well, in this film, I have a very specific focus, much less broad. And so I'm trying to be careful with not a wide variety of experiences, but just that it doesn't feel too disheveled or all over the place or, you know, I don't want it to feel disconnected or anything like that. So I'm trying to be careful in the stories I choose, in the way I tell the story, and who I choose to have help share this story, have help tell this story, that it doesn't feel disconnected or disjointed in any way. I think this is going to be a learning curve for me as far as like paring that down because I'm a person that just has a lot of ideas. I have a lot of ideas. I could find any story and go, oh, yeah, but I could do this with it. So put a pin in that. And then I come back and I've got like a million pins in everything. And I have no central focus. So I have to be careful with that. And I think having this very specific focus will help that. I'm hoping. Kind of trying to watch myself with it as I'm gathering things, as I'm thinking through the different logistics of this, of who I'm going to interview, what experts I'm choosing, how I can see weaving the story together. I I'm trying to be much more intentional and I feel like a butterfly was my like learning opportunity of that where I started like a butterfly and was just like I'm just running with it just every story I'm just telling it and partway through the making of that film I had to hone myself back in, reorient myself and go back and fix some of those things because I had gotten myself disjointed by not focusing myself in the beginning. So yeah, that's something that I'm hoping the very specific focus of this one, instead of a broader topic, will help. But it's a lot of trying to remember where I put that specific note because I'm like writing notes while I'm in town in the car or on my laptop in a document on Google Drive. I'm emailing different people and I have to remember, okay, when did I last check in with them and all of those things. So it's a lot of like admin feeling stuff, but also a lot of what feels like just brain dumping and then having to go back and organize what I brain dumped. And it's helpful. It's a helpful process. It'll be good as I continue through the process. It's just it's just very interesting. And because I'm in the development stage, I'm not in the filming stage, I'm not in the editing stage. It's hard to not jump ahead of myself to one of the next stages and go, "Oh, and in this we could do that." And not forget, I need to figure these details out first before I make some of those decisions. So, yes, a lot to get excited about. I am very, very excited. And I know I haven't shared many specific details. More details will be coming. I think the most I've shared is that it does have to do with family planning. And this is a topic, if you guys watch Like a Butterfly, you know it's a topic very close to my heart. If you watched my channel, you know it's a topic very close to my heart. It's something that I have been extremely impacted by. I think I've said a lot that it's probably the biggest way Turner syndrome has affected my life has been the infertility and navigating that. And so to tell those stories, I feel like this will feel a little more raw. Talking about Turner syndrome in general for me is very easy, very comfortable. there's very little I am shy about with it. And I have such a passion for talking about it, for bringing awareness that it's so easy for me. Talking about infertility comes with a lot of emotion, a lot of raw emotion and baggage and grief. And so I think this film might, in some ways, feel even a little more personal. You know, Like a Butterfly was very personal. And it told my story of having Turner syndrome. And we even showed um, our journey through adoption. But in watching some of the scenes, particularly at the end, it just, I do cry every time. But this will be a lot more complex emotional journey for my story because of everything that I've gone through with it, everything it puts you through. And so that might even feel a little more difficult, a little more raw, a little more vulnerable than even just talking about Turner syndrome. And so I am excited to delve into it, and I do think it's a very important topic. And I think, if anything, to have the subject of your film be something that is so a part of you and so a part of your life and your experience and has really impacted who you are, I think I think that's really special. I think that's where you get the magic of being so into and invested in and just enveloped in the world of the film that you're making, that comes through. And I think that's the beauty of a documentary is you can make films like that, where it is that level of just so integrated. And I I think, if anything, I will be very blessed if, through making this film, I'm able to help others feel, just like with Turner syndrome, feel a little less alone in this, and not ashamed of it, not embarrassed by it. And that is going to be a big goal of the film. And, like, you have some kind of encouragement and way to move forward. So, yeah, there's a lot of logistics I'm figuring out, but this is all what's going on right now with the film. This is where I'm at with everything. It's in the development stage. So, there's a lot of just simple behind the scenes things that aren't the flashy, exciting parts, but have to happen. And I am working to take the lessons I learned from Like a Butterfly into this one, where I'm approaching things hopefully just even a little bit better than with Like a Butterfly, a little more with it, a little more organized, which is not a strength of mine. And hopefully that benefits the film and pans out well. So that's where I'm at with everything right now. I do have more details I'm going to be able to share over the next couple of months that I'm really, really excited about, and ways for you guys to get involved in it and help out in it. And so be on the lookout for that. I will try to do these updates and kind of talk about the behind the scenes of it as I can, and let you know how things are going with the film. I'm really excited for it. So that's the update on that. That's what I wanted to talk about this week. If you guys have any questions about the film, let me know. I'll try to answer what I can at this point. And I hope you join me for the journey. I really do. And, as always, if you've not seen Like a Butterfly, head to the link in the description and check out the film. And I'll keep you updated on the next one. I hope you like a Butterfly if you go and watch it. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. The Studio Sessions is a Butterfly Entertainment production. You can keep up with all of our podcasts, YouTube videos, films, and other projects on our Instagram page. We are at Butterfly Entertainment Group. Thanks for listening.